It is a T3 Tuesday. So we're going to go ahead and bring on our guest. Let's give a warm welcome here for Sami Abu Saad. Sami, good morning. Happy Tuesday, my man. How you doing today?
Ryan, good to be back. Thank you.
It's good.
Doing great.
Let me say, we just got a CPI. I'm just going to start right out of the gate here. We just got a CPI print that was lower than expected here. Market is raging to the upside here. Looks like it stopped at 639 on the dot. What is your knee-jerk reaction to this print, and perhaps more importantly, what we might see here today?
What I like most is the IWM. The IWM looked like it was going to roll over on the daily chart, and with today's news, it's actually going to fail on that rollover or that sell setup. So we're looking bullish. We're looking really, really bullish.
Okay, awesome. Let me ask you, do you have an IWM position, or do you have some other small cap position that you monitor IWM? How does this work here?
I have in my IRA, and I wish I didn't because it didn't perform as well as the S&P 500, but I do have in my IRA, correct.
Okay, well, yeah, tell you what, maybe you'll get a little bit of catch up after today's print. We'll see how that works here. I do kind of want to ask you about what we talked about last time. Last time you were on, it was actually the beginning of July. It was July 8th. And you had talked a lot about some of the China stocks and stocks that had a chart that was bottoming on the monthly chart. So let me ask you, just where are we with some of these, and what do you have for us here today?
Honestly, I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I'm still bullish on them, but I would have liked to have seen more follow through. Look at the BABA chart, the monthly chart.
Okay.
I mean, that's the leader, and that looks pretty good still. And I'm in it. I have a position, just as a disclaimer. But if you look at the daily chart the last couple of days, it looked pretty good on the daily, but so far no follow through. You see the last couple of days.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that monthly chart you just had me looking at, that actually looks more bullish to me than the daily chart, just from a glance. It actually looks like it wants to curl and head up through some of these levels. This, to me, looks like we're kind of range bound here right now between 115 and 125 on BABA.
Right. No, I agree 100%. So that's what I was saying, is that it looks good long term, but short term, not amazing.
Okay.
Then you have other China names that are like all out bullish. Check out TME.
TME is Tencent. Here you go. Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, Sami.
So there are some names, and this is a major company. There are some names that are all out bullish. Now, if you're not in them already, it's not probably the place to be starting. So I like some of the ones that are bottoming. We do have also some US companies that are in the process of bottoming, like Etsy, ETSY.
Or do you like a daily chart here on Etsy?
No, on the monthly chart.
Monthly chart, got it.
Possibly bottoming.
So let me ask you, this 20-month moving average, did you use this at all? Because this does, first of all, I agree with you. Looking at this chart, it sure looks like this bottomed. And furthermore, it actually looks like it's kind of created a double bottom, because it bottomed back here in 2020, right around the same price. And it's recaptured the 20-month moving average here. Do you use this at all for maybe a change in trend or a change in sentiment?
I do for not just the change of trend. I do for my day trading. I do for everything, basically. It's the only indicator that other than volume, if you want to call volume as an indicator, it's the only thing that I use. The 20, the 200, and the volume. That's it. That's all I use, really.
Okay, and let me ask you, on Etsy here, do you have any type of time horizon for this potential trade?
No, this is a long-term trade. I don't know how long it will take, but basically my target is 140 on it, so I'm expecting a really nice move.
Okay, I'll tell you what, 140 from 61 here, not bad. That's more than a double. I would take that. All right, I like this Etsy setup. What else you got for us here today?
I'm in Tesla long term. Look at the
you're having a good morning then, because Tesla is responding to the CPI print here today, up almost 2% here in the pre-market. We're actually just shy of this 350. Sami, I know I'm kind of throwing you a curveball here. Our group has really talked about 350 to 360 being this really kind of sticky resistance area that we've struggled to get over, and it appears as if at a minimum we're going to test that here today. What are your thoughts here on Tesla in terms of key key levels and what traders should be looking for?
So since you asked, I just looked in the newsletter. I have a call published on Tesla, and it's already an open position with two targets on it, 365 and 420. So
Okay.
I just looked since you brought it up.
Yeah, those are pretty good targets. And actually, that's a really good reminder here. Join Sammy's free webinar today after the market closes at 4:30 to learn how trading mentorship can skyrocket your results. We put that link there in the chat. We also have a QR code that should work here this week. So really good stuff. Okay, it looks like you have some pretty good targets here on Tesla. Giddy up. Maybe we'll get this one here today.
Maybe. I hope so.
All right. One stock that I did want to ask you about from the last time that you came on here was Yin. This is kind of back to the China theme. You had said that you weren't in the, and correct me if I'm getting any of this wrong, please correct me. But I'm trying to recall it from memory here. You said that you were going to keep your eye on it, and $42 was a trigger here. One of the reasons that I'm asking you about this here today is because it looks like we did kind of ramp off this $42 level. We're coming back into it. We're actually at 42.04 here today, and it sure looks like we're holding this 50-day moving average, which is at 41.83, so just about 42. So your $42 level that you were watching was absolutely spot on. Let me just ask you outright here: is this a long setup?
It is, and I love the monthly chart on yen. The only issue that I have with it is that it seems to want to go and not go, meaning it seems to not follow through so far. But if it can just produce some follow through, that monthly chart looks fire. Looks amazing to me.
Yeah, this is what bottomed and based since October of 2022. This would be a great launching pad if this thing can really get going here. So, okay, maybe keep your eye here on yen. Trade this against maybe that 50-day moving average.
Right, I agree 100%.
Okay. One more that I wanted to ask you about, and then I'll just turn it over to you for pretty much anything that you want to talk about. Another show favorite here today, ticker BA. This is, of course, Boeing. And the last time that we talked about Boeing here, I think you said that you loved it. I want to make sure that that's the case here. We're talking about in July, this thing was going to hit 250. Boy, Sammy, you got extremely close. 242.69 was the high print. We actually had a trend. We actually had a trend line that we were peaking above. We really couldn't hold it. We have since lost that and the 20, but we've held the 50. So let me ask you if there's any update here on Boeing. What do you see here on ticker BA, or is this trade just over?
No, I honestly think it's headed back to the monthly highs of 265 or so. Now it doesn't look incredible. And Boeing was, when I came on the show last time, it was already, it was a really bullish name, but it was already too late. Like, it was already gone. So I do think Boeing goes back up and retests the prior monthly high of about 260. It's actually, the prior monthly high is 267.50. So somewhere there. Look, as long as the market stays bullish, the vast majority of U.S. stocks, they're going to just follow the market. That's what the market is. So Boeing is a major company in the U.S. It's just going to keep going up with the market as long as the market doesn't top out. Now, is it something that I would recommend today to get in it? No, I think it has limited target. Okay. It doesn't have a great setup. Like you said, it broke out and then came back in really hard. So it's not something that I would recommend getting in now, but I do think it continues up with the market.
Okay. Well, that's a perfect segue. Is there anything that you do think traders should take a look at for right now? Maybe today's session, maybe the rest of the week here. What is setting up as we speak?
Well, it depends what you like to do. But if you like swing trading, I like Guild. I have a call on it in my newsletter, GILD. It has a nice setup on the daily chart, and it looks phenomenal across the board to me on daily, weekly, monthly. It looks just higher, higher, higher. So I have a call on that. Let's see. So I'll tell
you what, this Guild chart really quickly here, this Guild chart, this 120 area, this looks like this is either going to be a double top or this is going to be a breakout.
I agree. And I'm counting on it being a breakout. We'll find out. So I like it a lot. People ask me all the time, well, do you play short? Yes, I play short. So I like Xerox XRX as a short.
Okay.
Also, if it can break down under the base, but
I think I see exactly what you're talking about right here. So a retest of this low here around 365. You're looking for maybe another move lower.
right, exactly. If it breaks under 410, I'm playing short. I think Snapchat and GME, they look horrible. I don't have a position. I don't have a call on them. I think they look lower. If you look at Snapchat
Yep.
and GameStop,
Now,
those two,
Snapchat just had earnings and they got snapped, frankly. So this now
as
revisiting
usual.
the like usual, exactly. This now revisiting the Liberation Day low. So, okay, so you expect some more downside here on Snap. What else you got?
Um, Another name that I like long term is GH. It's a healthcare company.
Okay.
Look at the monthly on that. That looks pretty good longer term.
Okay. I
And
like it.
yeah, so there's
Does this, let me ask you, is it, what separates this from some of the destruction that we're seeing in names like UNH, Humana? Forgive me, I'm not familiar with Guardant Health, so maybe it operates a little bit differently, but how is this different than some of the carnage we're seeing in some of these other healthcare names?
that's something that stood out about it, honestly, that wow, this is healthcare and it looks like this. I like it. But I don't know exactly what they do here. It says it's a high growth, mid cap oncology diagnostics company. So it's not so much of an insurance company. It's more of an oncology diagnostics company. So it's different and it looks different. So I like it. I like anything that's unique, basically, that's
Yeah,
on its own, that stands out.
yeah, this makes a lot of sense now that you mention it here. A leader in liquid-based cancer tests for clinical and research use. So, okay, so that's much different here. Actually, it looks like it's got some pretty good coverage and some pretty good trend and momentum scores as well. So, awesome here on GH. I love this because this is a new issue. This is one that, again, we don't often look at. So, we're just kind of expanding our stock universe here. And am I guessing correctly here that you want to see a breakout above 60?
So on GH, let's take a look. Yeah, what I ultimately want to see is a sideways week this week and play it as a breakout plus a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart. So I would love to see it go sideways this week and then next week take a position in it as a long-term play. So that's what
Gotcha.
I'd like to see.
Okay. Well, awesome. We'll see if that sets up here. Is there anything else that you want to cover here today?
No, I'm about to start scanning the gaps because that's my bread and butter for day trading. So I do some day trading, I do some swing trading, and I do some long-term trading. It suits my personality. I don't like to focus on just one thing. I get a little bit bored. So now I'm about to start scanning for the gaps, and then I'll come on the mic and trade them at the open.
Okay, awesome. I got one quick question here from a viewer. If you can answer it, great. If you don't, no worries. We'll figure it out. Do you think you can ask Sammy about the prop firm they are affiliated with called Trade Funder? I'm looking for a prop firm for stocks if you have the time. Any opinion on that for our viewer?
I don't think I've ever heard of Trade Funder. I know we have a prop firm, but I don't think I've heard of Trade Funder. Let's see. I see it, but I don't know that it's associated with T3. Honestly, I've
Okay.
never heard of it before.
Okay. Well, that's what happens when you ask questions live here from the chat. Tom, we'll see if we can get you an answer on that. But
Yeah,
Sammy, I appreciate it.
of course, absolutely. There is an email, a couple of emails at the bottom. I see. I went to the website that they can reach out to, support@tradefunder.com. So I'd just reach out to them.
Okay. All right, folks, if any of this sounded interesting to you or you want to see the results of some of those scans, be sure to join Sammy's free webinar today at 4:30. Learn how trading mentorship can skyrocket your results. Sammy, we appreciate your time. Every week that you come on here, we'll take a look at some of these plays, appreciate some of your insight. Have a good one, all right, my man?
Ryan, appreciate being on your show. You're so positive. Love the energy. So thanks for having me again.
That you're more than welcome. That's how we do around here. It's a lot better than being sad and complaining all the time. Sammy, have a great rest of your day. We'll speak with you next time, okay?
You too, sir. You too.
All right, Sammy Abu Saad from T3. I tell you what, every T3 guy that we have on here is tremendous. I didn't want to say guy because in case they bring a gal on here, I'm sure she's going to be tremendous too. Really good stuff there from Sammy. Gave you some very, very specific stocks, targets, and things to look for here today. Be sure to check out that webinar if that's something that you're interested in.